I'd like to welcome our California Secretary of State, Alex Padilla, to the panel. Secretary has been a leading voice on election security and has done a number of innovative things in California to train up officials at the local level, raise public awareness about misinformation, and make the most of federal partnerships.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Rogers, and members of the committee. The defense of our nation's elections must be a top priority for all of government, federal, state, and local. After all, our democracy is under attack. Elections officials have taken seriously the warnings from intelligence agencies. Our elections have been and will continue to be targeted by bad actors, both foreign and domestic, who seek to disrupt and undermine public confidence in our democracy. We know these threats to be real because we see them every day. If we agree that defending the integrity of our elections is a matter of national security, then we must act accordingly. Yet despite the warnings and advice, our national response has been lacking. I've been asked to discuss what the federal government can do to help and to share what we're doing in California to better secure our elections. I'll begin by recognizing that both DHS Director Krebs and Senior Advisor Masterson are tremendously valuable partners. They have honored their commitment to timely communication with us when issues or concerns arise. And I will note that the importance of this partnership underscores the danger of unnecessary government shutdowns. With the 2020 elections quickly approaching, our collaboration must not be interrupted. Now, this partnership is only one component of a comprehensive defense strategy. We must also invest in election administration. The last time Congress approved new funding for elections was 17 years ago through the Help America Vote Act. The investments made as a result were by and large in equipment and technology that are now 20 years old. Today, it's not uncommon for elections officials to be searching online for replacement parts for voting systems that are no longer supported by manufacturers. Others are stuck utilizing old operating systems that cannot be patched or updated with the latest security software. So if we truly value our democracy, then we must commit consistent federal funding for elections administration and security. And yes, Congress did appropriate $380 million last year in grants to states, but that wasn't new money, and it certainly wasn't enough. Last year's appropriation was the last of butterfly ballot hanging Chad money that was never intended for modern-day cyber threats. Next, Congress has the opportunity to make the best practices for election security the national standards. Among them, rigorous testing and certification of our voting systems, requiring logic and accuracy testing of systems before every election, requiring paper ballots and a voter-verified paper trail, requiring voting systems to be kept offline, and requiring post-election audits after every election. This is a proven framework for securing elections and for improving voter confidence. You see, if a voter begins to think that their vote may not be counted or may not be counted as cast, and they choose to not participate in an election as a result of that doubt, that is a form of voter suppression. Now, these policies have served California well for years, but since 2016, we've done more. We've established these partnerships with DHS, FBI, the EAC, as well as state and local agencies to better coordinate in the event of a threat or incident. We've engaged in security trainings, tabletop exercises, and information sharing. We've upgraded our state technology infrastructure and established an Office of Election Cybersecurity and an Office of Enterprise Risk Management. We've dedicated staff to monitoring social media for erroneous information about voting. We've launched a public education campaign to raise awareness about election misinformation. And we created a web portal with resources for voters, including the ability to verify their registration status, find their polling place, and to report suspected misinformation. And finally, we piloted a voter status alert tool which notifies the voter whenever their voter registration record is updated, and we plan to deploy this tool statewide in time for the 2020 elections. Thankfully, the 2018 election went smoothly, but we know that those who seek to undermine our democracy will continue to try with increased frequency and sophistication. It's not enough to keep up with nefarious actors. We must stay ahead. This requires us to continue to work together, to implement the best standards, and to make the necessary investments. Thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to your questions.